Hi, this is Jason Fielder with the Daily Forex Report for September 4th. Taking a look at the US Japanese yen pair. I'm expecting for this session to be within a range of 107.58 on the high side. On the low side, 105.50. As you can tell, the currency pairs have just an hour or two in the session have already just taken off to a large extent. This pair is moving down, has a bias to the downside. I'm looking for it to continue, even though we have this this really long tail right here so far. If you notice, we did not get our break to the upside with our inside day, but you know, that's how it goes sometimes. Now switching over to the Euro USD pair, this pair is moving lower. It is also you know, biased to the downside. I'm expecting this next session to be between 143.07 on the high side, and on the low side 141.26 on the low side. So definitely keep an eye on this pair. It could go much lower. It's moved within a range, previous support and resistance range, but we'll see if it starts to do that, as it did a little bit at this point. Now switching to this pound US dollar pair, this pair continues to just move lower, and obviously it's the bias is to the downside. I am looking for this session to be between 179.21 on the high side, that would be up here, and on the lower side 175.23. So we could see it move much lower during this next session. And switching to the Swiss, this pair is moving higher also. The bias is to the upside. It did spike and has come back down during today, this next session, this new session that we're in. This was the previous session that just closed out, and it closed up. The bias is to the upside. If you noticed, we did dip down pretty low. If you had bought in around the trend line that we had drawn previously, you should have gotten in somewhere around here, and hopefully got out when it went higher, went through this area. If you could draw a straight one, it would have just pegged it on the high side during this run up that occurred. So that's definitely something to take note of, that these drawing trend lines and tracking them actually works if you take the time to do so. Well, that about does it with the charts. We do have the pound and euro that had released their interest rate decisions this past session, and both of them held at 5.00% and 4.25% respectively. And the Canadian dollar has their net change in unemployment being released for August at 7 a.m. tomorrow. The consensus is that employment is up to 5.0K from negative 55.2K, which would be really good. As far as the U.S. is concerned, we have a non-farm payroll tomorrow. This is the second largest market mover as far as news releases, at least for the U.S., only second to FOMC announcements. So it's definitely something that you want to take note of and possibly trade if you have a system that you feel comfortable with trading and you know how your broker deals with news announcements. That's very important. A lot of brokers freeze trading a couple of minutes before. Some make the spreads ridiculous. It just kind of depends. You need to make sure and know what their policies are on news announcement trading if you're going to trade them. That's being released. The non-farm payroll is being released at 8:30 a.m. And the consensus is that the unemployment has increased from negative 51K to negative 71K. So we'll have to see how that affects the dollar if it does come out as expected. So that's about it. That wraps it up. This is Jason Fielder. Until tomorrow, good trading.